Have you ever wondered what happens when the world sleeps and shadows come to life? Let me take you on a journey of a 16-year-old girl, Mary, trapped in an unseen nightmare. As the moon takes the helm, Mary finds herself in the heart of a mystery that turns her dormitory into a stage of the bizarre. In the stillness of the night, her peers, her friends, all sleepwalking in a bone-chilling unison. Every familiar face drawn towards an invisible magnet, while the strangers, the unknowns, veer off in another direction. Imagine the fear that creeps into her heart, the confusion swirling in her mind, yet the curiosity, that innate human trait, gnaws at her, refusing to let her cower under her blankets. She is a lone spectator in this nocturnal play, her dormitory turned into a labyrinth of sleepwalkers. As Mary watched in horror, she decided to follow them. With her heart pounding, Mary stepped into the somnambulists' procession. She moved silently among the entranced people, her wide eyes darting from one familiar face to the next. The world around her seemed eerily silent, broken only by the rhythmic shuffle of sleepwalkers on the move. As she drifted deeper into the crowd, she noticed a peculiar sight. Some individuals, strangers to her, were moving in a different direction. Their path diverged from the main procession, leading off into a shadowy alley. The thought of following them was terrifying, but intrigue overpowered her fear. Mary took a deep breath, her pulse racing, and veered off to join the strangers. The sleepwalker's path was a familiar one, leading her through the dimly lit streets of the campus, past the dormitory and towards the outskirts of the town. But the stranger's path was a mystery, a labyrinth of narrow alleys and winding streets. The tension in the air was palpable, but Mary pushed forward, her curiosity driving her on. The path led her to a hidden underground pool shrouded in darkness. The surface of the water was still, reflecting the faint glimmer of the moonlight. The strangers lined up at the edge of the pool, their faces blank and emotionless. One by one they plunged into the black pool, their bodies disappearing beneath the surface. With a deep breath, Mary stepped to the edge of the abyss. The inky black pool stretched out before her, a void of nothingness that swallowed the light and the sleepwalkers. A shiver ran down her spine as she stared into the unknown, her heart hammering in her chest. Fear tugged at her, urging her to turn back, to run away from this nightmare. But curiosity and the need for answers kept her rooted to the spot. What was happening? Why were her friends sleepwalking into this black abyss? And who were the strangers going in a different direction? She wrestled with her thoughts, her mind a whirlwind of confusion and fear. The world she knew was unraveling around her, and she felt like a stranger in her own life. But she knew she couldn't turn back now. She had to find out the truth, no matter how terrifying it might be. With a final glance at the sleepwalkers, she steeled herself. She was not just a spectator in this twisted reality, she was a part of it. She had to jump, she had to know. Gathering her courage, she closed her eyes and leaped into the unknown. The rush of the fall took her breath away, and the cold darkness enveloped her. The world she knew was replaced by the chilling embrace of the abyss. As she sank into the darkness, she could feel the world around her changing. Mary opened her eyes to a world unlike any she had ever seen. She was back in her dorm room, but the familiarity ended there. The faces of the people she had followed into the black pool now seemed comfortingly familiar, their features etched into her memory. The people she once knew, her friends, her classmates, now appeared as strangers, their faces foreign and unrecognizable. Her heart pounded in her chest as the bizarre truth dawned upon her. The black pool was not a mere pool, but a portal, a gateway to an alternate reality. It was a world where everything was turned on its head, where the familiar was strange and the strange was familiar. The sleepwalkers, the black pool, the strange faces, all were pieces of a puzzle that now made a terrifying sense. In the end, it was not a nightmare Mary was living, but a reality she was yet to understand.